IU's going to need to look to turn this around, as the first 3 matches have not gone their way.
Mitch McKee is a freshman. He is ranked 16th nationally, 16-10 on the year.
Now the matchup is going to be Mitch McKee and Garrett Pepple, 2 freshmen. Now, Mitch McKee is a true freshman from Hanover, Minnesota, and Garrett Pepple is a redshirt freshman from Kendallville, Indiana. And Mitch McKee, despite being ranked 16th, does not have a great record thus far this year at 16-10. However, as in our phone call interview with Coach Eggum was quick to point out that Mitch McKee has had a pretty daunting schedule thus far. He has faced the likes of Seth Gross, he has twice, Cade Brock twice, Stephen Micic, Anthony Tudelo, Mark Gray, and Kevin DeVoy, and most recently Eric Montoya.
Yeah, he's played a tough schedule so far this year, and that's what you're going to get, when you play for a program like Minnesota, who goes up against so many good teams in the Big Ten out of conference. He's faced his fair share of competition so far.
Yeah, against Cade Brock, the number 2 wrestler in their weight class. The first time out did not go too well, as he lost 10-2 at a dual meet against Oklahoma State in that 34-3 loss for Minnesota. But the next time he faced him at the Southern Scuffle, it was a lot closer. It was 10-7 the second time around. So that kind of shows the marked improvement that Mitch McKee has made throughout the season. As now McKee, much like his predecessors in this matchup, is starting to really establish some riding time as he's approaching 40 seconds. A 15-0 lead for Minnesota to start out this match. Minnesota's gotten out to a very hot start, even hotter than against Nebraska on Friday night. And you got to wonder if Indiana's long layover between meets might have something to do with it. Sure, they might be more fresh, but maybe there's such a thing as being too fresh.
Yeah, they came in and we knew they were going to be well rested. They've played 1 match in the past 3 weeks. Minnesota came in playing just this past Friday against Nebraska, and on one hand you can look at it and say, well, Minnesota might be tired, might be a little sluggish to start off the match. Yeah, right now they're showing us that match against Nebraska has just better prepared them for Indiana.
Indiana, much of their bye time is already gone because coming up next week, they face, later this week, they face Northwestern, and then that Nebraska team a couple days later, followed shortly after that against Maryland, Rutgers, and Iowa not long after that. So their time off is pretty much gone now.
The Big Ten schedule just gets tougher and tougher as you go on through it.
Despite Indiana's talent and their non-conference success, they are the second-to-last team in the Big Ten at the moment, as only they and Maryland have yet to record a Big Ten victory.
They have only played 2 Big Ten matchups so far this season and lost both, so they'll have plenty of time to put some wins in the win column.
And that first loss against Wisconsin was decided in tiebreakers, though. And Wisconsin, a very good program right now. I believe they're ranked right ahead of Minnesota.
I believe right now, I think you're right. I think they're ranked 11th.
And Garrett Pepple, his last time out against Purdue, he lost 9-2 to Luke Welch, and Mitch McKee is only his second-ranked opponent that he's faced this year. The first being Brian Lantry of Buffalo, who that was a close one as well. He lost that one 3-1. Overall in the year, Pepple is 10-5 with 3 major decisions and 2 pinfalls.
Pebble just a redshirt freshman, still young, but Mitch McKee also just a true freshman here.
Mitch McKee has had a very decorated high school career at St. Michael Albertville. He was a 3-time Minnesota State champ while he was in high school, as well as a 4-time academics letter winner. And so far, he has competed in 4 tournaments thus far this year, and he's placed in every single one in the top 6.
Two-point near fall, Mitch McKee.
McKee right now leads the team in pins. Be interesting to see if he's able to get Pebble on his back at all and if he goes for it.
And that's really saying something when you're leading Minnesota in pins with guys like the Farr brothers or Ethan Lezak.
Mhm.
It's impressive that of all those guys, it's Mitch McKee who leads in the pins.
Especially after having such a tough schedule that the coach mentioned. Coach being able to put up 5 pins in a season is a pretty good rate.
And he does have victories against some of those ranked opponents, including the 16th ranked Anthony Tudelo of Kent State, which he won that one 3-0, and Mark Gray of Cornell, which he won 7-1. So Mitch McKee, despite his tough schedule, has had some success in that schedule. And that's going to end the second period. Mitch McKee leading 6-0, and with 3 minutes and 38 seconds of riding time. So that's going to be at least another point there for McKee in riding time. So Peppel's going to have a lot more ground, at least 7 points to make up here in this final round if he hopes to beat McKee.
And as the story's going so far, the Minnesota wrestlers are getting off to hot starts, establishing a lot of riding time, and Indiana has just been unable to get out from under those Minnesota wrestlers, as Pebble's team is trying to change that right here.
Yeah, riding time's been a big factor in this matchup thus far, because Minnesota has just been dominating in that regard.
Pebble almost to that point of getting on top of McKee. McKee's doing a fantastic job keeping that right hand on the mat, establishing his balance. There's a lot of strength being displayed by McKee right here. He's got Pebble completely off the mat. And Pebble starting to get the crowd into it a little bit here as he drives McKee into the mat.
It's hard to do when you don't have a foot on the ground at the moment, but Pebble seems to be pulling it off. And now McKee's losing some of that riding time that he had gathered.
Pebble's going to need to get some sort of points out of this, although he won't.
Maybe they're going to call a stalemate.
Stalemate right there,
They're going to reset.
We'll see if Pebble can, in that top position, have as much success as he did in that last turn there.
Yeah, despite his success, though, it did not result in any points, as we see here. Look at that; he's just kind of hanging from McKee there.
Just an incredible display of strength there by McKee, but Pebble just able to grab on, as he's doing right here again.
Yeah, Pebble hanging on for dear life, as McKee can't seem to get him off.
This might be the most success we've seen so far from an IU wrestler. Oh,
A good flip there by McKee to reverse that. As you have 30 seconds left, it doesn't look like any of the momentum Pebble build towards the end is going to help him a whole lot, but it was a good resolve there at the end to kind of finish on a strong note. That's going to be a stalling call against Minnesota. Against Indiana. With 9 seconds left, McKee with a 7-point lead and minute 46 of riding time. So Pebble was really able to cut a lot of that riding time advantage down, though it doesn't look like it's going to matter much in the final result.
Yeah, he's been unable to get any type of takedown, which will hurt him.
So that's going to end up being an 8-0 victory for Mitch McKee, as that's another major decision for Minnesota. That's 4 now to start off the meet. As Mitch McKee moves to 17-10 on the year.